He, because I'm happy. We're singing today. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Spiritual Sessions. I am Norwood Young, and this is
Debbie Cray.
You sure?
I am.
All right. So we hope that you guys are going to enjoy what we have in store for you today. Please feel free to share spiritual sessions, and please feel free to comment anytime you choose. And our producer Kat will put them up, and I will be able to read your comments and answer them. Producer Kat, say hi to the people before we go any further. Pop in.
Hi to the people.
She doesn't have on her makeup yet, so she's not ready. So before we begin spiritual sessions, as we will for every spiritual sessions, we will begin with a minute of meditation to put our heads and our hearts and our minds in the right place so we can get this thing happening. All right? So get ready for our meditation moment. Meditation minute. You got meditation minute.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Here we go. Phew. I didn't meditate all day. I needed that.
That was
Woo.
That was good.
Woo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here at Spiritual Sessions, we have formulated our own commandments. And we are so bad about it that we have 11.
Sure do.
Not 10. We have 11 commandments. And right now we're going to read them to you so this will all make sense about spiritual sessions. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
You go first.
Thou shalt strive to treat everyone equally and do unto others as they have done them do unto you.
Thou shalt strive not to judge.
Thou shalt mind one's own business and stay in their lane.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt believe in oneself.
Thou shalt love oneself.
Thou shalt learn to realize one's own power.
That's a good one too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Thou shalt respect others' beliefs.
Thou shalt be of service.
Thou shalt strive to be compassionate.
Thou shalt strive to be positive and a beacon of light and happiness.
Thou shalt not disrespect nor tolerate disrespect from others.
That means don't take no stuff. Don't give no stuff, but don't take no stuff. That's good, huh?
Yep.
All right, so today we're going to delve into the first commandment a little later on. But before we do that, I want to read if we have any comments, and then we'll go right into our first topic. Do we have any comments, Kat? Hi, Jadana.
Hi.
Hi, Henry Louise. Oh, Henry Louise was saying hi to Jadana.
Oh.
Well, dog, can y'all talk to each other on your own? You're supposed to be saying hi to us. Okay. So I'm going to go in and begin with our first topic. And it is a topic that not only in Christian churches, but there's a misnomer and a misconception, Debbie, that I know you can help resolve today. And I want Kat to pop in and out because this is primarily your worlds as well, and that's the world of witchcraft. And not that you're solely in the world of witchcraft, because we'll talk about it. But witchcraft was always believed to have a negative connotation or a dark connotation. You know, I was like a big witch fan, so you ding, 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 you know the whole thing. Oh shoot, you're still there.
It didn't work, did it? Okay, very funny.
You're still there.
Very funny.
But anyway, so we think about witches and riding on brooms and casting evil spells and everything dark and negative about witches, which is totally, totally, totally not true. So can you give us the history of witchcraft and why are you laughing?
The history of witchcraft.
Well, all right. Can you briefly give us a brief history of witchcraft and why it is not negative or bad?
Okay, so, well, I actually studied witchcraft and the origins of it when I did my degree in anthropology. There was an actual semester dedicated to it because we were learning anthropology and belief systems. And if anybody who knows the history properly, it was in the mid 1400s, where women who were empowered, women who were working with herbs, women who were working with aromatherapy, all of these things that is okay now were actually burned at the stake for practicing kind of natural remedies. And it went on for quite some time. It went on for, I think, hundreds of years.
Okay, so let me stop you, because this is spirituality for dummies. In this case, I'm going to act like the dummy. So,
yeah,
that's fine. All right. So, what you're saying is any woman who was ahead of her time, who was powerful, who was smart, possibly outspoken, who practiced remedies of aromatherapy and natural herbs and things of that nature were considered witches. Yeah. That's how it started.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
There was a lot of, I believe there was a lot of political things around it as well. But even midwives who helped girls be born were also burned at the stake.
So they were considered witches.
Yeah.
Midwives were also considered witches because they were powerful and since they helped bring a new life into them. Okay, go ahead.
Especially if it was the birth of a girl, and then there were things done to the baby girl that were actually incredibly cruel. There was a lot of very evil things done. There's actually a book, I can't remember the name of the book. It's meant to be one of the most evil books ever written, and it was actually written by a Spanish priest, and it was all the horrible things to do if you think someone's a witch.
This sounds like male chauvinism at the highest level.
It was, I personally believe at that time, apart from the political aspect to it, it was the fear of men in strong women. If you look at the kinds of women, the kinds of reasons that they burned women, it was women who were outspoken, women working with herbs, women doing kind of remedies and healing, and that was not okay.
So I have a question. So the women who, because I like me a good old herb potions. So my question is, so the remedies that the women were coming up then were considered, is that where we got potions from?
Yes, yes.
That's where we got potions from. All right, continue.
Now, there of course are people that are doing, there's black magic and there's white magic. There are people since the beginning of time that work with dark magic, and there are people who've worked with white magic, which are basically called witches. Let's put it this way, all this beautiful new spiritual thing that people the trend and all of the things people are doing in homeopathy, aromatherapy would all have been burned back then. And we're just doing it now, or even doing a tarot reading, burned, that's it. Especially anyone doing any kind of divination, burned, yeah. And it was considered to be heresy, so they would burn under those terms.
So
anything that's not in the Bible.
So what was yeah, but that's a whole nother story. What all right, so what was the big witch burning?
The Spanish Inquisition?
No, that too, but I call it the bonfire of the witches.
God.
That's horrible.
It is.
Salem.
Yes.
Salem.
Yes.
Right now, give us a little backstory on what Salem was.
No, you tell them.
I don't know. You're the expert.
Help, Kat.
Kat, come on with Salem, because Salem was the burning of witches, right?
It was, yeah.
Come on, Kat.
Okay, it used to be. Lately, it's been debunked, as while it was people going crazy about witchcraft, most of the people that were burnt were witches. It's they've dug into it now, and
All right,
basically, yeah.
So prior to the debuncation,
But yes, that's a word. Sure.
prior to the debuncation, what was Salem's original story?
Well, for Salem, it was no different than anywhere else.
Right.
It was just, I
So
believe
Salem,
the story is Tituba, the black helper with one of these families.
black helper,
was
black person, or black as in
black person. Tituba.
Okay.
Yeah, she's super famous in like this realm of things.
Okay.
She was caught either dancing or helping somebody, something that there was no reason to get caught for, basically, with the daughters of her master, basically. So instead of all of them getting in trouble.
Stop. Dummy. She was called dancing with her master, so she was a slave?
No, with her master's daughters.
But she was a slave.
Well, yeah, she was a house.
Well, you didn't say that. Okay, so she house, whatever.
I mean,
that's
back
still a
then,
slave.
all black people were slaves. It was 1400s. Sorry.
Okay. She was a slave, and she was her master. Her daughters were dancing with the master. Tell me.
No, her daughters were dancing with Tituba, so with her. So the slave and the daughters went into the forest, had a good time, decided to do some dancing, or they were found doing something, and then all hell broke loose. They went after Tituba. Tituba started just pointing fingers to that person and that person and that person and that person, and it was just everybody crying witch. And it turns out literally nobody was practicing witchcraft in that town at that time.
Okay, let's see. And here's the deal for me. That's where the negativity comes in at for me, because practicing witchcraft. So witchcraft is what? Basically,
witchcraft, in my opinion, is
Okay.
manifestation with tools. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
and
how
being
all
one
right.
with nature with tools.
So So if you were caught practicing manifestation with tools in a positive way, in a good way, you were considered a witch.
Oh, no matter what. Even
Yeah.
dancing. Dancing? Absolutely
Oh.
not. Yeah, no. This was Puritan. Don't forget Puritan.
Puritans. So here's the deal, and that's a whole nother topic. Because in the Pentecostal church, there was a time that if you wore makeup, dresses above your knee, if you watched new movies, secular dancing, you were considered evil. You were considered dark. So I'm thinking now, light bulb. I'm thinking now, if those people would have been considered witches.
Of course.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have any comments? I'm curious to see what anybody's thinking. No? Do we? Okay.
All right.
I'm curious. Because this witchcraft thing kills me. Hey, fam. Hey, Purple Diva. Violet Adams. Hi, my sweet sister. Do you know Violet?
No.
Okay, so that must be somebody else talking to somebody. Can y'all talk to each other on your own stuff? Hi, Violet. Purple Diva. Correct. This is what I said to you, Kat, the other day. That we are all witches.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Henry Louise says, where I'm from is called voodoo and hoodoo. Now, let stop the comments for a second. So voodoo, Henry Louise, has always been associated with something bad too. Is voodoo always Kat and Deborah, Debbie, you answer.
Deborah.
Is voodoo always dark magic?
Well, here's the thing a lot of people don't know about voodoo. Voodoo is actually a religion. If you look into the very beginnings of it, it's a religion.
Okay.
So voodoo is termed as bad but when I did some reading about it at one point.
Based on your anthropology degree.
Yes, of course. But yeah, well, I had to do lots of papers on so different kinds of witchcraft.
I'm only taking this.
Yeah. I believe there are, again, it's like any kind of magic. You've got people who are going to use it correctly or people who are going to use it dark. Some voodoo, I think that's what Henry Louise is calling hoodoo. I'm not sure the difference.
Well, I think the hoodoo is the Henry Louise. Come on and tell me, but I think the hoodoo is the good, and
That's
the
what I'm
voodoo is the
thinking.
bad.
Exactly.
Because I remember specifically having some people over my house and having to put a person out of my house because it was.
So it's not that. Hoodoo, one is considered a religion and one is considered a folk practice. So hoodoo is the practice, voodoo is the religion.
Okay, so I remember. Thank you. I remember Henry Louis says voodoo is not dark magic. It's used to heal and uncross the effects those affected by hoodoo. See, that's contradictory of what Kat just said.
It's the practice. So voodoo doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Like
well, all right, and I agree. So but it can be, because what I do know what I know factually is I put someone Kat, stop picking your face. We see you. We see you. Stop. You're on television. Stop. So and whenever I bring you on, you're always doing this, hiding the dark marks that you pick at. Stop. So anyway, yes, stop it. Going back to spiritual session. I remember putting a woman out of my house because she was like scarily dark and scarily evil and trying to pick fights and this, that, and the other. And she, by mistake, left her purse at my house. Right? Mm-hmm. So you leave my house, what do I say about possession?
90% possession.
90% possession, 90% of the law.
That's the one.
So I went through a bag.
Of course you
sure did. And in it, I found a small velvet pouch.
Oh gosh.
And in that small velvet pouch were conch shells.
Don't open.
I opened it. Conch shells, strands of hair, and something else. And I remember taking it to someone, and they said, "Oh yeah, this is definitely not about me or whatever." But I know who it was about. And one of her brother's articles, right? Something belonged to her brother in this pouch. And they said, "Oh, this is definitely a practicing voodoo. This is a voodoo curse." So my association with the voodoo has always been that it's something dark. Mm-hmm. So according to Henry Louise and you guys, it is not.
Well, I have dealt with some people who have had spells put on them, and every time I've done it, it's always been incredibly dark. It's actually one of the darkest magic, because when people put black magic on somebody, it's done through pictures or elements like a piece of your clothing or a piece of your hair, or they even put a string into the toilet.
There was string in there too.
Yeah, anything that takes the essence. And I know that because I'm shown things as I'm clearing it. But with voodoo, the person that put it on can tune in and see you removing it. So that's a whole other thing. And you're like, wow, there's this very interesting
like the movie we saw.
Which one?
We'll talk about the movie we saw where the voodoo priestess, the girl paid to have the curse put on the guy.
Oh, right.
And she can actually see the stuff.
Yeah, they can actually see you. So if you have this person, you can see as you're removing it coming up in front of you.
All right, so let's go back. So let's go back to sum it up. Witchcraft is not necessarily, or is not necessarily. Witchcraft is not, practicing witchcraft is not a bad thing in terms of its origination, because witchcraft was remedies to help people.
What we call now holistic medicine. That's exactly what it was.
So holistic medicine is what was witchcraft, pretty much.
It's broad. Farmers, agriculture, like growers, were considered witches before too. Veterinarians, doctors, scientists, all considered witches. It's not just somebody who does spell work. It's the powerful women that were trying to make the world better.
Okay, so let's make that clear. So it was fine if it was a man doing these things.
No, men got burned as well.
Men got burned as well. Yeah. So were they the original warlocks?
Yes.
I mean,
so everybody was supposed to walk around.
We don't really use that word.
Well, in the lay person's world, they do use
Yeah.
it. And they,
I mean,
and
if you want to say warlock or wizard, yes, but
Yes, they do.
witch is a unisex term.
Okay, well,
Right.
yeah, well, for those in the sector can say that, but generally, and I agree with that. However, we've always been taught that females are witches and males are warlocks. That's
That's because
Um,
warlocks have more of a power over witch. So actually, you're using terms that are helping the white male patriarchy than
oh
the
God,
ones
that's a
that
whole
you
nother
used.
show. So basically, you were okay as long as you went to regular doctors and were dumb and had no
Didn't
brain.
have an opinion as a
Anybody had
woman.
Everything was very religious based, so everything was about the Bible as well. So anything outside of what people interpreted that as was considered to be witchcraft and evil.
So let me ask you this: if you were a doctor,
Mhm.
a male doctor, you weren't considered a witch. But if you were a female practicing,
No. So
Okay.
if you are a male doctor working out of the constructs and guidelines of what the Puritans considered as healthcare at that time, which usually was, I don't know, sucking blood with leeches and stuff like that. If you were anything outside of those, you were considered a witch, period.
Yeah.
So if
Wow.
you were trying to use natural herbs or, you know, incantations or whatever.
So let me ask you this: for the layperson who, and I'm asking you too,
Mhm.
for the layperson who practices, and I would be that person too, homeopathy, aromatherapy, and anything outside of Western medicine, am I considered a witch?
Yeah,
Because
100%.
You would have been burned as well.
so my name
Welcome
is
to the
Witchwood.
club.
My name is Witchwood. My name is Witchwood Young.
Witchwood Young.
Witchwood Young. Oh wow. All right. So we have any other comments about this before we move to that? Okay. Queen Boss says holistic medicine is positive. Natural magic we all can use in positive ways. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, 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 yes. I wonder. Jadonna says Norwood will snoop through your stuff. Sure will. Leave it in my house. It's mine.
Be serious too.
Purple Diva says this is a heavy subject, all connected to religion. Definitely, Purple Diva, and that's the next thing I was going to talk about because even though the Pentecostal church was considered a church, they were practically and primarily doing the same things that the Puritans were.
Mhm.
It was Pentecostal seems like it was another form of Puritanism to me because there was it sounds very, 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 very similar.
I mean, I feel like they were interlinked for sure.
Yeah.
Because
well, I don't think they were interlinked because the Pentecostal church, the Black Pentecostal church, and Puritans weren't interlinked. You know what I'm saying?
but the whole reason that they were practicing
theoretically, without a doubt, they're interlinked, but technically they were not because there was a separation of Black church and white church then too.
That
Why you had
church
the
in
AME
itself was introduced to Black people through white Puritans. Am I
Right.
correct?
However, as a Black man, let me tell you something. However, the Black church separated from the white church, ergo AME Zion, ergo African Methodist Episcopal. There was a separation of Puritans from the Black community. However, theoretically, they were obviously the Pentecostals more so than AME. That's a whole nother thing. However, they were seemingly practicing with the same methods.
Mhm.
If you did certain things, like for instance, case in point, they weren't called witches, but in the Black churches until very recently, within I guess the past 20-something years, maybe 30, I don't know, but yeah, it was frowned upon for a woman to be a preacher or a pastor or in the pulpit. Oh no, couldn't do it. So that's a whole nother situation that we were going to tackle another time. Yes, Kat?
I mean, ideally, this all comes down to we have been stepped on for hundreds of thousands of years, right? Whether it's women or Black people.
When you say we, you're talking about women?
Black people, anybody who has been marginalized by the white male patriarchy, right?
Yeah.
And it makes me think, this started so long ago and they were scared of something. What were they scared of? And what did we as women know about ourselves during that time for
All right,
people
so
to get so scared?
So because we have a lot of stuff to cover, I'm going
Yeah.
to say answer that really quickly, and then we're going to move to the next subject, not unless there's other comments about this. Excuse me. I think the fear is because the bottom line is that the woman has ultimately more power than anybody because she has the ability to reproduce. And I think that that is the most intimidating and fear factor that there was, the power to reproduce. So that takes the power away, in their minds, takes the power away from the women.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of deep, huh?
I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of deep, right? Do you see
Yeah.
what I did there? That's kind of
Yeah.
deep.
There are
Pat me on my back. Thank you very much.
there are I agree with them, and if you're like studying anthropology, going back into original societies and breaking things down, there are actual tribes around the world, and many of them where men go out and they hurt themselves, they cut themselves in the forest while women are going through the birth because they want to simulate the labor pains, because there's and so it's very deep.
So so here's the funny thing about that though. So you can look at it one way and go, oh, that's so nice that the man is doing that. So you go, no, he wants to mock having some of that power.
Exactly, but that's the point. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So they can say, well, I went through it too and all of that. And it's, and this is why women have been marginalized for a very long time. I mean, if you look back into a lot of the pagan religions, women were considered to be the goddesses. So
of course,
it's also that connection to Mother Earth. Back then, women were
therein lies the intimidation.
Exactly.
Therein lies
even Mother Earth,
Well,
everything's mother, feminine, divine feminine
Yeah.
energy. All of these things were discussed back then. You don't hear divine masculine energy. So there was a lot of those women were really opening up, weren't they, Kat?
Well, the
Yeah,
reality of it is, and we really Purple Diva said that's it, nor will baby producing. And the thing is this: the irony of it is, and I can say this as a man, ain't no way any man could take the crap y'all go through every month. If I look down and saw myself bleeding every month, I'd pass out. Period. If I had to have a baby cut out of me or push a baby the size of a bowling ball out of something that's this, no, we would not be able to handle it. And then halfway through life, start sweating and crying and going through crap for no reason, like this one does. I don't know why I'm crying. No, listen, men couldn't handle it. We wouldn't be able to handle it. So why not praise her? This is crazy. This is crazy. Hi, Violet.
Look, the fragile male ego knows no bounds, believe me. And I feel like anybody who knows
they
this.
get a splinter in their finger and they need to think they're having it amputated. Yeah.
But here's the deal, though, guys. I can really imagine because men, we've evolved, right? Hello, great for us. We've evolved. So imagine, somebody, but we're gonna praise those of us who have. Okay. But imagine back in the day, prior to men's thinking evolving, their fear is why they actually went to those extents to burn women. That is scary. Yeah. Pure fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
But if you look at most of the atrocities done to females now, it's through fear. It's all through fear.
Yeah.
So
but that
it
makes
is.
me, as a woman, think we have so much inside of us for men to fear. But we've been so like in such a colluded society for so long that we just can't get through to it. Right. You know, it's exciting for me sometimes because it's this realization is women have more power than they know, and history tells you that.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, what I am more proud of right now after learning this situation about women is how, and this is not to take anything from you guys, but how amazing a Black woman is, just because she got a double punch.
Yeah.
For being a woman and then being Black. So that's a lot.
No,
I have a whole new because I've always known the women were discriminated, but I only took it from not being able to vote and the old thing in the 50s, she's supposed to cook and clean, but it is far.
Way, leaps and bounds.
Oh,
Leaps and
honey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry what you had to go through, honey. I'm sorry, Kat.
Look, all I have to say is it's men like you, Norwood, who are allies to women that will help this.
Right.
And anybody who's watching or who knows those needs to nurture that and you know, keep pushing it.
So,
What I love about Norwood is that, you know, as a female myself, I've gone through life, even in my lifetime. I'm sure, Kat, you can say this as well, where men are intimidated or put you down, whether it's relationships or friendships, whatever you get. And, you know, even up to 2 years ago, I had somebody that, you know, once I became on par with them through learning and whatever, automatically this person started bullying, becoming bullyish. And I went, what's that about? And someone said, well, look, you were here and now you're here. You've learned everything. You're on par. They don't like it. With Norwood, it's really the opposite. He's always pushing me outside my comfort zone, kicking my butt. And when I say I can't do something, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. And, you know, very much empowering. And I've watched him do it to all our female friends, where he really tries to lift everybody and get them to believe in their potential, which I love, because that's my job is to try and empower everybody, but women particularly, because we've been pushed down for way too long. You know, women are starting to step into their power now.
well, let me say this, and then I promise we'll go to the next topic. This show we created to inspire and help other people, right?
Yeah.
I, in this very moment, am so inspired by you all and the women on here in the comments and the knowledge that I have. And if you thought my level of respect for women was great at one point, it's nuts now. If you thought I opened the door for the ladies before, I'm gonna open the door and put rose petals in front of them.
Remember he said that, Kat, okay?
Don't go far. But Dad, that's crazy. You're welcome, Queen Boss Lady. That's just woo. Okay. Sean says Norwood's got a good heart and he's a nice person. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
So yeah. All right. So to sum that up, witchcraft is not a negative thing.
No.
It's not negative. It's not necessary, and it's not a bad thing. And we need to try to dispel when somebody says, "Oh, she's a witch." All right. I promise I'm gonna go. But here's the situation. Remember one time, years ago, in the early part of our relationship, I think somebody called you a witch. They said, "Oh, you're a witch too, aren't you?" And before you could answer, I said, "No, she's not. She ain't no witch. No, she ain't no witch. Don't be calling my friend a witch.
Yeah,
you might be a witch, but my friend ain't no witch." Remember that?
Yeah, I do. He got really, really.
I was upset.
Yeah, he did.
But guess what? You're a witch.
Yes, it's a compliment.
I'm a witch. You're a witch. We're all witches.
Power of the witch, people. In fact, let's be honest,
If
most
you
people
are-
out there are witches.
Say that
now.
again. If you are empowered,
If you're empowered,
you're a witch.
If you're woke, you're a witch.
If you
you're a
wo-
threat. You're a threat to
The
people.
woke witch.
The woke witch. We're woke witches.
Woke, we all woke witches. All right. Bump you, witch.
Yeah, but if you think about the spiritual movement that's been happening over the last 5-10 years, but really over the last 5, everybody is now, because
Empowered.
everybody's looking up at the eclipses and the full moons,
Oh,
and the full moon
yes.
ceremony and dancing around. What was that? You would have gotten burned at the stake. People are going and having hypnotherapy or coaching, whatever, burned at the stake. All of these things that people are doing to benefit their lives now without even having to think about it twice would have all been burned at the stake in the past. The majority of people now that are involved in that. So it's very interesting when you look back. And when I studied it, it was hurtful really to see what women went through trying to wake up and try to, really connect with Mother Earth and really, meditate. Oh, if you meditated, you were burned for sure.
Now, all right, we got to go to the next segment, but going back to
Honestly, I could do a good 6 hours on this.
I know, we're
Like,
gonna
it's
revisit
crazy.
this. We're gonna revisit this.
It's good.
But when you talk about meditation,
Yeah.
the churches have been meditating all their lives because Prayer and meditation go hand in hand.
Same thing.
They go hand in hand. And I said this when we in our old spiritual sessions. Prayer is being in the midst of. No, prayer is asking for your desires. Meditation is living in it. Right?
Yeah.
So there should be, it should, and kudos to the Black church, because I've always learned that people are, well, a lot of people just say, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it. But then when I went to another church, Black church, it was always meditation and prayer. Right? And now that I have the mindset that I have today, it makes sense about meditating in the mind. But if you're asking for desires, you don't ask for desires within meditation, you pray for your desires.
Right.
You pray for your desires, you meditate within it. Okay.
The meditation is actually really, when you're manifesting, you first put your wishes out there. That's your prayer. But the meditation is like the surrendering to the universe.
Exactly. Meditation, prayer is the meditation is the starting of the prayer is the beginning of the meditation. Right? Yes. So you pray first. Yeah. Father God, Mother God, whomever you are, God. This is my desire. And so it is. All right.
And do you know spell work is just that? That's all spell work is. And we can get into it later. I can explain
that spell work. Okay. Can you put that comment back up there, and then we're going to move on.
Yeah.
Queen Lady says, awoke. We are magical for sure. Yes, Queen Boss Lady. All right. So.
We can cue a commercial if you would like.
Yeah. Yes. Let's do a commercial.
Oh, wait. I have one really good comment here.
Uh-oh. What is it? Brooks says, I am an empath, a little psychic, my own kind of medium, and my sister, the Christian that she is, understands my gift is from God, but says be careful with that stuff. Woo! Wait a minute. Bring that back up. We can't go to commercial yet. Debbie.
Yes.
Be careful with that stuff I find alarming. What is that stuff? That gift from God is exactly that, a gift. You don't have to be careful of anything. You embrace it and know how to properly use it, right? Go. Yes, she is prejudiced, and that goes. Oh, that's a great segue for our next topic, which is racial racism. Oh, and we're gonna go into I'm sorry. Racism. Religious. Shut up, Cat. Religious racism. Brooks, that's our next topic. Religious racism. That's perfect. So let's go to that commercial, and when we come back, you're going to talk about that with Brooks. Okay. That stuff. All right. Here we go. Like to promote your business or your upcoming event. So we're back, and Debbie and I have been talking about all of this that we've been discussing through the commercial. So the next topic is religious racism, and I'd like to start it off with Brooks's comment. Can you put it back up for me? She says, I'm an empath, a little psychic, my own kind of medium. And my sister, the Christian that she is, understands my gifts is from God and says, be careful of that stuff. Now, before you answer that, Brooks, I would say to your sister, as a practicing Christian, you should be careful with that stuff. If that's what she is saying to you, what do you have to be careful of? says she need to be careful of her stuff. All right, Debbie,
Mhm.
talk to us.
Okay, well, I understand you because I grew up in the Catholic faith and I had natural abilities to see things. I had psychic ability, I saw spirits, and it made me feel like there was something wrong with me for a lot of my life. And because people, it was just brushed under the carpet. And because people are programmed in through certain religions that that's evil, that that's bad. We are given senses in our body. No one says the sense of sight is evil, the sense of hearing, feeling, touching. That's not evil. So what's evil about a sixth sense? Being able to see, feel things outside of you. All of us innately have a psychic element to us,
Mhm.
but as children, we're very in tune with that psychic part, but then
Mhm.
we're forced to go to school and work with the left brain. So the psychic stuff's the right brain. When you're forced to go to school and be more academic, even that in itself is moving you away from that psychic potential. So that's why people say, oh, when I was younger, I used to be able to see this or feel that. Now I can't anymore. It's not that your psychic ability disappeared. It's just that we are trained and programmed to go and use our left brain. So when you're, for me personally, as an academic in school, I really found it very, very difficult to do that because I was very, very right-brained. So what I want to say to you is that there is going to be a misunderstanding of people who are committed to
Mhm.
misunderstanding because it's creating fear for her because she knows what she sees in the Bible. She knows what she's taught on the Sunday. Anything outside of that is putting her under pressure to change her views. And most people out of fear, they need to believe only that. They can't go outside the box. That being said, the fact that you have that ability, I have saved other people's lives through my psychic ability by listening to my intuition and not going somewhere that ended up having a tsunami where I myself and my friend would have died. So when you look, and I have so many stories I could share of where psychically or intuitively I picked up something wasn't good and I didn't go that direction and somebody got murdered or somebody got stabbed. So we have to really think about what is that ability for. It is a God-given ability. You know, it really is. And all I think your sister's doing, she's coming from a place of, oh, don't let it slide where you go into the evil with that. But that's just a
But that could be the same. But
misunderstanding.
that could be the same on her end. She could
Absolutely.
slide into the evil.
Absolutely.
You see
And,
what I'm
and I
saying?
have seen people who are overly religious go that direction. I absolutely have.
We'll see. Okay.
Everything's perception.
Well, that's where religious racism comes in, and it is just as horrible as racism of cultures.
Mhm.
Religions are cultures, you know. And for instance, the Baptists don't believe everything the Catholics don't believe.
Mhm.
And the Buddhists don't believe everything that the Islamics believe. And it's just racism, you know, and where spirituality, there's loads of racism against spirituality. And I
Yeah.
think that, and actually I think that spirituality gets it more than anybody because there's so much that spirituality covers. But doesn't that make sense?
Mhm.
Spirituality, and I don't want to be a racist and say spirituality is the way, because there is no way.
Mhm.
But spirituality is the most natural.
Mm.
It's the most natural because there is no judgment in one spirit. There's no judgment in who you choose to love. There's no judgment in the way you see things. You see what I'm saying? In other religions, like I was talking about earlier, in the Pentecostal church, oh, you couldn't, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. Seventh-day Adventist. Henry Louise says the Pentecostals laid hands on her and tried to drive her gifts out of her. Right.
Wow.
But they do that. It's like,
in the name of Christ, I compel thee.
No, but that's not Pentecostal. Pentecostals, loose a demon, get out, out. Or they hold your stomach. You can't see your stomach on the screen. And they hold your stomach, blow it out, just like crazy stuff and crazy rituals for something that is natural.
Well, I had a person who was Baptist. I was staying with this family of my ex in Canada. And this was my ex-husband. So his family were like, you know, asking, and his father was very high up in the church, was, you know, as a kind of like an elder. So they had a particular church for his culture, and then they had the Baptist church. And he literally sat and looked me in the eye and heard that I had initially been brought up a Catholic. He says, "You're going to burn in hell." He looked me in the face. "You're going to burn in hell," because I was a Catholic. And that just like completely threw me. Unless you get baptized and say you believe in Jesus, you're going to go to hell. This is over dinner, and he meant it. And it was, yeah.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. In terms of acceptance, in everything, in terms of acceptance, like for instance, we're now being taught acceptance, you know, amongst cultures where blacks and whites and people of color and Asians, we all accept each other and not judge based on our skin. I think those same things need to be, I think those same things need to be handled when it comes to religion.
Right.
Not judging people based on how they choose to worship or believe or the life they choose to live.
Right.
So
by the way, this is a man who used to whip his children with a television wire, and whose brother kidnapped his wife's daughter and took him from her because she wasn't obeying, being an obedient wife, and she never saw that.
Well,
son
listen,
again.
how
can you say I'm going to hell?
They're so, well, that's relative as well, because everybody's perception of hell is different.
Right.
That's a whole nother situation. So my point is this: we all, religions basically were devised by humans.
Yes.
And they've created a set of rules for religions. Whereas spirituality is just what makes sense. It makes sense to be at peace with yourself. It makes sense to treat people the way you want to be treated. You know, there's no threat, there's no damnation, there's no, I mean, for instance, in spirituality, and that's another conversation, karma. If you do things that are not in the light or of the light, then you're, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but your reincarnation or your next existence, if you believe that, will not be of the hierarchy, you know, right? Yeah.
Well, basically, you know, it's like if you do something continuously bad to a person or people, it's considered to be bad karma for you, because let's be honest, you know, it's back to the law of attraction again. Whatever you put out into the universe, you're going to get back. So if you're living a life where you're hurting other people and judging, critiquing, and you're doing all these things that are not having any integrity or taking any responsibility for your behavior, it is said karmically that those souls that you have hurt, you will come back into another incarnation paying off that debt.
So let's deal with that. There are a whole lot of people who don't believe in karma. There are a whole lot of people that don't believe in coming back. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is there is racism amongst the religions, and that must stop. Because in actuality, we believe what we believe. There's a Bible in there's a Bible in the verse. There's a there's a verse in the Bible that says, "Faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen." Got that? So, meaning we don't know, right? Pierre Padiva says that's how all the religions broke off adjusted beliefs. Exactly. So, faith is the substance of things hoped for. So I'm hoping for this thing, right? Based on the evidence of things not seen. I've not seen it. Which means even in Christianity, you have to have faith in what your belief is, because you don't know.
Right.
The bottom line is none of us know.
No.
None of us know. So, but the problem is when we become dogmatic and rude and torturous, even in some cases, when we don't believe what others believe.
Right.
So for me, I choose the route that makes sense for me, right? Which is easy as all get out. Spirituality is like easy because there's basically no rules outside of trying to nurture our 11 commandments. Those are the rules, right? And that's so easy.
Yeah.
So I'd rather live the easy route than be told, if you don't live this way, you're going to do this, and you're going to burn in damnation. You're going to eternally burn.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, well, my brain says that if I'm dead and I burn, I'm gone. How? What the hell? So,
Yeah.
so wait, before, because you know that makes some sense. So my point is, we can't judge other people and other religions
Yeah.
for what their belief is.
No.
Because my thing is, I don't give a crap what you believe, including Satanism. As long if that's your thing, that's cool. I don't care if you got a pentagon and candles and do whatever you do. As long as we are existing and meeting face to face, we are treating each other equally and with respect. I don't care, because at the end of the day, that's your thing. That has nothing to do with me.
Mm.
Zero to do with me. Go ahead, talk.
You kind of caught me off guard with that whole Satanism.
Well, because say, all right, go ahead. Why?
No,
Can
because
I just say one thing about the
Yes.
Satanism thing?
Yes.
Have you ever read the 7 fundamental tenets of Satanism?
Yep.
You have. So you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Okay. They're pretty
Yep. Go
much
ahead, talk.
aligned with your 11.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And the only
I
reason
just think it should be
wanna
made
test-
clear to the people listening too that they're
Right.
almost the same. They're almost
There-
the
that,
exact same.
and that's what I'm saying. So, but the thing is, it's just like wishes. If you attach yourself, basically because of the titles that people have given these things, if I were to say, oh, I believe some of the same things as Satanists, oh God. Then what happens is, because of religious racism, I turn off the spiritual people because they're not woke in that sense yet.
Mhm.
You know. And if I say, so like, go ahead.
I respect everybody's religion. I
Mhm.
always have. I'm
Mhm.
not I don't identify in particular with any kinds of religion, because the restrictions within that to allow yourself to evolve, for me, just on my personal level and with my gifts that God gave me, I want to be able to live a very good life and be a very good person. I mean, you say sometimes live a Jesus, a Jesus-like life and be
Christ-like.
Christ-like. That's the
Because
one.
Christ was
Christ.
not a Christian.
Right. So, I mean, I'm a Catholic brought up, right? I'm not a practicing Catholic and I don't identify with that anymore. But I
So
remember.
do you consider, so here, wait, stop. Do you consider yourself a Catholic then?
No, I don't identify. I'm not an atheist, but I don't identify with any particular religion. For me, I'm more interested in my spirituality and my growth as a human being.
Okay, because you just said I'm a Catholic.
No, okay. I was brought up a
You were
Catholic.
a Catholic.
I started with I don't identify with.
No,
any
you started
religion.
with I'm a
Be
Catholic.
quiet.
Can you come up in the comments, please?
Be quiet.
You said I am a Catholic. All right, go ahead.
Okay, I don't identify with any religion, but I
Mhm.
don't have any issue with anybody's religion. My issue is what we talked about earlier on, is how other people criticize, judge, hate, even to the point of kill in the name of religion. That is a contradictory in terms to what religion is meant to be about. Religion was created as a set of rules with which people could live by to live a good, balanced life. That's originally what religion was made for. But then it became to control the masses. It became something completely different. So, the Catholic Church, for example, believe it or not, did you know the Vatican City is one of the wealthiest cities in the world?
I do.
Okay, so that's the what's the word? The core of the Catholic faith. So I visited the Vatican City, and I got very caught up in the whole moment. And
Oh,
the
it's
energy of it.
opulent. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. It's no joke.
So I decided, being caught up in this moment with my wonderful Indian friend that came with me, who's Hindu. And we went into the church and we were both like getting teary. And I said, I think I'll go to confessional here.
See, that's bullshit. Oh, excuse me.
I think this will be,
That whole confession thing.
I know,
but that's religious racism. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I went into this pulpit. I can't remember the name of the box. Confessional.
The
confessional. That's the one. And I kneeled down, and it was like that old style in the old day, that really uncomfortable piece of wood where you kneel and your knees are chilling. So basically I said, hello, Father. It has been whatever since my last confession. This guy started shouting at me, telling me I was going to go to hell because
See?
I hadn't gone to church in so
Nope.
long. And I
Nope.
was like,
Nope.
I literally said
Nope.
to him, this is why I left. I left because of this nonsense.
Yeah, but see, now, being as woke as I am now, you're going to hell because you haven't been to church so long to get a church your money. That's really what that is. So it's, and not that he even knew that because he's brainwashed as well.
Mhm.
So my thing is, but I'm not going to dislike you or not walk in harmony with you because that's your belief. And then see, my music teacher, who was so influential in a lot of my thoughts, said to me, you know, Norwood, religion is really the way you live your life.
Right.
So with that being said, spirituality can be considered a religion.
It is.
It's just not organized religion.
Right. Right.
It's not organized religion. So I don't think, for instance, yeah, so I don't think that we should frown upon anybody who lives the way they live, because the one common thread that most religions have,
Mhm.
whether no matter how they get there, is to love each other.
Right.
You see, and not to hurt each other. That's the one common thread.
Right.
So if we can all attach ourselves to that common thread and exist that way,
Yeah.
I don't care what you do, who you serve, how you serve, as long as, because at the end of the day, like I said, at the end of the day, we all don't know for real, don't know. We have ideas, that's why we have faith, but we don't know. So as long as we're here, when we do know, we are living on that one thread.
Right.
I'm good. I'm good.
I wanted to say,
Harry Louise says, honestly, we're basically spiritual beings. No, not basically. That is who we are.
we are a spirit with the body, not a body with the spirit. And if you
Right.
think about that, there's an absolutely massive, massive
That's good.
difference.
Say that again, girl.
We are a spirit with a body,
Spirit with a body. Hold on. We are a spirit with a body.
not a body with the spirit.
Not a body with a spirit. Oh,
And most people
that's good.
live like the second one, but you have to, this is the temple in which your spirit lives in order to have a soul journey and to learn and grow and expand as a consciousness. And that's what we're all here for. It doesn't matter what individual purpose we've all come to learn.
Mhm.
The bottom line is we come here and we're given this beautiful gift to explore our spirituality and explore soul lessons and evolve as a soul. And that's why we keep coming back. So, I have actually, that I help spirits sometimes that are around go into the light. I've done house clearings and stuff. There are so many spirits that get stuck here because of the fear they're not good enough to go into that light because of religion. Believe it or not.
No, I believe it. I'm still learning on that part. But yeah.
Yeah. But listen, this is the interesting experience for me. I love everybody of every religion. I just love people. And I
Right.
have had people who are Catholic, Protestant, Christian, Quakers, Muslims, very staunch Muslims who have read the Quran in front of me come and have readings with me. And it's against their religion. So I've actually said, why are you having, this is not, and they go, no. Because we know where you're getting the information from. It's only light.
And that's the
it's
whole,
only
and that's
good.
why confuse yourself. Anyway, Shari
Mhm.
says, true, we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes.
That's good, Shari. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Purple Diva says, no, you only go to hell for doing things you know are wrong. Okay, so Purple Diva says you're going to hell. I have a friend, or a friend named Gloria. And Gloria is a Bible-thumping, staunch Christian
Mhm.
who has strong beliefs in hell.
Mhm.
I don't have those same beliefs, right? But we totally respect each other
Right.
for each other's beliefs, right?
Right.
So Purple Diva, who's also a member of our night school,
Mhm.
can you post Purple Diva's comment again? Okay, now that confuses me a little bit, her comment, because Purple Diva totally gets it, and you can rectify me, Purple Diva. Purple Diva understands the whole witch thing, that we are all witches and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And she's woke in a major way. However, I don't. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I got you. She said that was a comment that you said to Debbie. Okay. because I don't understand the concepts of why people believe in a hell, how that is so instilled in our brains. And I was one of those persons who feared that if I didn't, and then why should I live my life in fear? Well, I feared that if I masturbated, I'm sorry, adults, no, I'm not. Masturbated, I was going to hell. That was the cap. Now that's in the Catholic religion.
Yeah.
You can't masturbate. You're not supposed to. Meanwhile, the priests are doing what they're doing, and that's a whole nother topic.
But even condoms were not allowed.
And condoms weren't allowed, and birth control. So my point is this: I choose not to believe that, or don't believe, not choose to, I don't believe at all, that when you die, you are in limbo until a horn sounds, a trumpet sounds, and then all the dead people are gonna rise. And then those who go to heaven, and those who don't go to hell, where you burn in this fire for eternity. I just no. So in a lot of ways, a lot of us are living in hell right now, and we have the capability of removing ourselves from hell right now. Hell is poverty. Hell is a mental state, and not only physical poverty, but mental poverty. You know,
seeing life through a lens of scarcity, being critical, judgmental, hateful, that's all hell.
That's hell.
Because that person is stuck in that negative cycle, and what they're really doing is projecting their own unhappiness onto other people. Happy people are not hateful. You cannot be both. So it's people who have had trauma, or who have been brainwashed, or who have a senile mindset that are living this way.
There's my purple diva. There she said, look what she said. Hell is here on earth. There you go. And it is what you make it to be. So, and here's the deal. Why? I'm trying not to be, I'm not being judgmental, but I'm trying not to be elitist in my thought here. But why not be a part of something in your heart and in your mind that the insurance policy is when you live right, you go to a higher existence, versus if you don't live right, you burn in hell. That is like, why would you do?
Just all fear.
Why would you
that's
do that
just
to
a way
yourself?
of controlling people. That's a way of controlling people through fear. It's been used since time began, and it's used in religion as well to make people fearful. If they don't live according to what they're taught, that's what's going to happen to them. So people live in fear.
Most certainly. And see, and Henry Louise just pointed out something that I just remember when she did it. The biggest contradiction in the world. The Catholic Church was found to own a pharmaceutical company whose major product was birth control. You're Catholic.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not. You are something else.
Wait, you got on nail polish? Oh, you going to hell?
Oh God.
You got on lipstick? Oh, you going to hell? Woo! That's what Gloria used to tell everybody on night school. You going to hell?
Wearing a pendulum. You go.
Oh God! Oh, let's not even talk about the pendulum. That's a whole other situation. So I'm gonna tell you guys about my pendulum and talking to spirit another time. So summing this this segment up, religious racism is horrible and it's ridiculous. And if you don't quite believe the same things that other people believe, that person could end up being a person that has your back, a person that loves you and you can love tremendously. So don't be a religious racist and cut off what could be great for you based on somebody else's religious belief. Yeah? Whew. We good?
Yep, we're good.
Kat, any more comments on this segment? Okay, she's not putting, okay. Henry Louise Carter says, some of us are in Southwest hell. Queen Boss Lady says, awaken. And then you'll be able to understand, listen, learn, and grow, do better in one's life. Yes. If you look at Queen Boss's picture and look at that flower wreath on her crown, she woke.
Let me just say for the record,
yes,
God is my best friend.
Mine too.
My absolute best
But he
friend.
spoils me more than he spoils me.
Oh, get out of here.
Or she.
He spoils both of us.
Okay, but I'm more
Okay.
spoiled than you are.
And
Sean Smith says, really, right people need to come together. All people need to come
Yeah.
and realize, again, like I said, as long as we have that common thread, it does not matter.
respect, love, compassion, that is my religion.
It's so easy, but it's so freaking easy to do. And we spend a lot of time harboring anger, hate, and fear based on other people's religions,
Yeah.
which is stupid.
Which is actually, it's ironic because it's the actual contradiction of what religion is meant to be.
Exactly. Organized religion sucks, period. I said it and I meant it. But I'm not going to be racist. Do you? Do you? All right.
Just allow other people to do their thing without all that judgment. It's gone on for thousands of years where people are burning and killing and, you know, all of that over a label of what religion
Well,
you
well
are
here's the
or
deal.
belief
And
that
then
you
we're
have.
going to leave this topic too. Like, for instance, the 7-day Adventist, right?
Mm.
I got friends who are 7-day Adventists. And
What do they do? Events for 7 days? I don't even know what that is. Sorry. My bad.
I did not say 7-day Adventist. I said 7-day Adventist.
Oh, Adventist. It sounded like
Don't you ever say that again. Adventist.
Okay.
But,
Sorry.
all right. So see, for example, and you don't even know. That's going to be your homework when we get off of here. Okay? You know what Jehovah's Witness? Of course you know Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
Michael,
come
right?
to my door.
So listen, let me tell you. They kept coming to my door every Wednesday like clockwork. And finally, I went to the door butt naked.
Oh God, I know you did.
You know I did. I went to the door butt naked with some porn on on the television, and I opened the door wide enough for them to see the porn. And I went to the door butt naked. Never came back again.
Because that's because they know you going straight to hell.
No, but here's the deal: if you're Jehovah's Witness, 7-day Adventist, whatever, do you?
Yeah.
But don't try to tell me
Mm.
that I'm doing something wrong because of the way I choose to live. That's all.
We should all allow each other to have the freedom to live based on what our beliefs are, as long as it's loving, caring, compassionate, respectful of others. It's fine.
Yes.
It's fine.
So I just got a bright idea,
Mm.
and my idea is, no, for real, in this moment, I see everybody on here is kind of walking the same walk we are. So I'm gonna come up with a spiritual sessions mug or something, guys. So we can so we can do our thing, right? Yeah. These are our old spiritual sessions mug, but I think we need
new
something,
ones for
something a little
new
brighter.
beginnings.
Yeah, because that right there looks like we are preaching fire and brimstone.
It's meant to be energy all around.
It's supposed to be, no, I don't like it no more. Nope. So you guys should help us design a new mug. All right. So can you give me our number one commandment that we're going to discuss today, Kat? Okay, maybe not. Okay. Thou shalt strive to treat everyone equally and do unto others as you have them do unto you. Well, ironically, that's actually that was a perfect segue to our commandment here at Spiritual Sessions. We have 11 commandments by which we choose to live our lives, and they're real simple. Just treat people the way you want to be treated. Real simple. Real. I mean, I don't know what else to say. What you got to say?
If you're going around, and I see this with clients, they don't realize they're in a negative cycle and they're going around judging, hating, criticizing other people, but then wondering why their lives are not good, wondering why people don't like them, wondering why people are walking on eggshells around them. Have a look at your own behavior. Because what happens is you're projecting outwardly your own insecurities, your own self-loathing, all of those things on others. So if you're treating people that way, you're not going to have a positive experience from other people. You're just not. Law of attraction, mirror effect, whatever you want to call it. If you're putting gossip and negativity and judgment out there, that's an insecurity within you, but that's a subconscious projection as well. You are going to have other people do it to you. You reap what you sow. It is that simple. So I believe that this is the golden rule in a lot of religions and a lot of cultures, to do unto others, to treat people well. If you look at a lot of religions around the
But
world,
yeah,
that's in
yeah,
there.
but it is, but it shouldn't have to be. It shouldn't have to be something that's stated in religion. It should just
No,
be
no, but I believe it's,
normal.
I know, but I believe it's there.
It is there. I
It's
mean,
out there. So if you're treating other people how you'd like to be treated, then we're all treating each other properly, and the world is a much better place, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just find it difficult that people have to be told that. Like
No,
I find it difficult that we even have to make it one of our commandments
I know.
because it seems like it's common sense
There's
that
nothing common about sense anymore, dear.
and there's no benefit to giving somebody the benefit of the doubt, dear.
That's true. You always remind me of
There
that.
is listen, when people all right, I'm going off topic. I was going to go on the benefit of the doubt topic. We're going to stay here. All right, like I said, it's weird to me that we even have to tell people to treat people the way you want to be treated. But I guess it's necessary
Yeah.
because sometimes people go, "Oh, I didn't even know I said that to you," or I
didn't
talked to
mean
you
it
that
that
I didn't mean
way.
it that way.
Yeah.
You got to put yourself in the mindset. How would you feel if it were said to you? Purple Diva says, but there are hurt people amongst us, thus evil. Yes, I agree. And through our hurt, we need to keep our hurt behinds home until we deal with it, as opposed to thrashing out at people, because hate begets hate, and then you have this cycle of horrible stuff. So I think that, when you go out into the world, for instance, when you say do unto others as you have them do unto you, and I just got a thought.
Mhm.
I go out down the street and you see me do it. I will force people to say hi or good morning or whatever, because I can't. I don't wanna. I don't know. I don't
I
know what
wouldn't
it.
say you force it. I think you inspire people to lift their spirits and lift their day by how you live. So you'll go, good morning, and you'll do something crazy so they have to laugh and say good morning back. That's not necessarily forcing people.
Well, all right.
You're encouraging people, giving people permission to be happy and say good morning back.
I'm glad that's the way it looks, because I'm forcing you to say hi, because I want to be said hi to in the morning or otherwise. But the other side of it is, I like to feel that or think that I'm the source of somebody, like you say, giving them permission to relax your shoulders. It ain't that serious.
Yeah.
Life is not that serious, because life is going to be what it's going to be. And it's not about the instance per se. It's about how you choose to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then sending message to someone, like just recently, I was texting a couple of people saying, you came into my mind. I hope all is going well with you. Because they did. They came into my mind and they're like, your message just lifted me so much. I was going through something, and this pouring of love. So you have no idea how you can affect another person just by smiling at the morning, at somebody in the morning starting their day off right. Maybe that person just had an argument at home, and just being in that to treat others in a way that's loving, you can really be the change you want to see in the world.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what I encourage people to do. If you have a thought about someone, don't just think about it. Act on it. Act on it in that instance, because the time will go by and you'll forget about it. And you go, oh, I was just thinking about you the other day. I had a thought about Kat, our producer, the other day. And I don't know if I text Kat. Did I text you or did I talk to you on the phone? I just wanted to tell her I loved her and I appreciated her. You see what I'm saying? Because I have creative stuff that I want. None of this could happen without Kat.
Kat rocks.
No, but here's the deal. We know that.
I'm gonna go now.
Does she know that I appreciate that? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes when you go, oh, I'm loving these shows and stuff is good, and you think about how it happened, you say thank you, or I appreciate you. Kat, did I text you or call you?
You called me, and the moment you did that, I had a thought in my head of, shit, I need to do that for other people in my life. Just to call them and tell them that I appreciate them. Like the moment you did that, that thought came in my head, and I was like, oh wow, okay. I haven't done that in a long time.
I was literally doing some research for one of our shows, and I said, that damn Kat. Oh, excuse me. No, I'm not. I said, that Kat. and I had to, in that moment, call her and say, I love you. I appreciate you, and let it be. I appreciate you, Dad. I love you, Dad.
I love you too.
All right.
Yeah.
So it does not cost anything. It does not hurt, and you'd be surprised at how valuable you become in someone's life when you just, it's just so simple.
Yeah.
It's
it
so
really,
simple.
really is. I remember this queue in Singapore coming in, and there was this group of people, I won't say whatever, and they were waiting. There was a changeover between the guy that had just
Could you
finished.
stop? Could you stop for a second? A very important comment came up. Can you put that last comment back up? Norwood's positivity is contagious. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And anyway, this guy was changing his shift. Another guy was taking over when you go towards the immigration. And we were waiting and queuing and obviously waiting for them to change over and take tags and da-da-da-da. Anyway, this group of people just lunged at him, charged at him, and they were rude, they were screaming, and they were pushing. And he literally lost his temper and started telling them to stand back, and they wouldn't. And they were throwing their passports on it was like a real scene. And this guy, you can get inside somebody's head for a minute and think what you would feel like if that happened to you at the beginning of, it was like 6 a.m. at the beginning of your shift. So you could see he went through 6 or 7 of them stamping and told him to get back over there. And you could see it was in his face. This is the start of his day. So when it was my turn, I was like, oh, I want to change his day around, because I was observing and knowing what I would like if I had my day started like that.
To others. Go
Right.
ahead. Continue.
So I went and I said, I'm so sorry your morning started like that, but you know, I love your tie, or whatever it was. There was something genuine. I said, you know, you have a lovely smile when you smile. Don't let this get your day down. Everybody appreciates you, you know, in your job. And I'm grateful for what you do. And thank you so much. And he had this big smile, and he pushed candies that he had in a bowl towards me and said, thank you so much. And next. And I walked away with goosebumps, like I have goosebumps telling you, because it felt good just to be able to be that person that observed, saw somebody else that needed that lift, and to be that person that could do that for them. And it made me feel good about me. Does that make sense?
Lots of sense.
Yes, and that's a beautiful way to live your life, always looking for an opportunity where you can lift somebody up.
Well, see, with that being said, I challenge all of our people that are with us and who will watch during the week, spiritual sessions, to recognize how powerful you are and how much more power you will have just by going out of your way to call somebody and say, hey, I'm just thinking about you, if you really are. Or if there's somebody in the street that you're going to be of service to in any kind of way, even if it's just opening the door or letting them get in front of you in a line or what, just watch. And the thing is, the insurance policy is it makes you feel so good that you have a better day knowing that you made somebody. It's like so easy.
Can you imagine if we all went around like that?
Just one person, the trickle effect.
There was an advert that went out and showed people in different scenarios. I don't know if you've ever seen it, where they go in different scenarios where some old lady goes to cross the road and a guy comes and helps her across, and her giving him the hug, and then somebody else doing something nice for him that day. There was a video on that.
It's paying it forward.
And I used to watch it over and over again. Imagining what the world would be like if people did that.
Yep. Shari says, I have wept in the night for the shortness of sight that to somebody's need made me blind. Wow. But I've never felt a tinge of regret for being a little too kind. Yep.
It's beautiful.
You're one of us, Shari. You're one of us.
Beautiful.
Yes. So I would just encourage everybody, because we let me see, our time is almost up. I would encourage everyone to, thank you, Shari. She said, this is a great live tonight. I would encourage everyone to share the show, not because you hear people say share, but share, because this show, unlike our others, are definitely worthy of paying it forward. You know what I mean? So I challenge you to do a random act of kindness, but not just one. Excuse me, not just one, but daily, as often as you can, and it's so simple. And watch your sense of self and your sense of power emanate in such a way that it has never been done. It happened before. The 7-Eleven 500. What's that?
And they gave it back to him.
Oh, right. All right. She wants me to share a story, and I forgot about it. This is a great story. Okay, so I went to the 7-Eleven down the street, and I dropped money out of my pocket. Okay. When I got home later that evening, I said, I must have lost that money. Oh, well, was mad about it for like 2 minutes, and then it was fine. I lost the money. Whatever. Okay. 24 hours go by. I go back to the 7-Eleven to buy some other stuff. No problem. As I'm walking down the aisles, a Thai gentleman walks up to me with a Ziploc baggie that they had put my money into and said, "You dropped this the other day, sir." I'm like, wait a minute.
What?
That he said in other countries, they be waiting for it to come out your pocket.
Oh, there has to be in your pocket taking it.
Or hands be in your pocket.
Mhm.
So it's like, those are like some of the rewards you get just karmatically
Yeah.
and spiritually when you just, because I'm kind to people.
No, that's unheard of. They had it in the thing stapled and everything,
Stapled.
waiting for him to come back in. But he's always kind to the people in that store. He always says good morning to everybody or good evening. And
Or
you know,
flirt with the girls.
Yeah, he flirts with the girls.
And they don't
as well.
understand the thing I'm saying, but they
They
understand.
just go,
They understand that.
yeah, but you know, when we go places where generally people always say "Sawadee ka" to us, like the local supermarket, everybody smiles when they see us come in, and it's nice. You know, you're leaving some kind of a positive memory for them each time you go. So it is. It really can. You're making, what do you always say? Positive credits with the universe.
Yep.
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 And it does come back to you. So take ownership and responsibility for how you treat people, and have a look at how you're treating others. And maybe if you shift that somewhat and get outside your own head and start looking at other people that might need to be uplifted or might need just a kind thing said to them, you will start to move out of your depression, or you'll start to move out of your feeling of needing to criticize or feeling unhappy with everything. It makes a big difference.
And my question would be to ask yourself, can I do more?
Mm.
Can I be kinder? Can I brighten up people's days? Can I smile a little more? Because those little things, though they may seem little, go a
They're not.
long, long way. All right, Kat, any more comments before we wrap this thing up? I've enjoyed you guys. Go ahead, Kat. Any
Yeah.
more comments? Henry Louise says, as you can see, I shared the link for tonight. Well, I can't see anything. Maybe the psychic can, because we can't see it on here. Can you see it? Can you see it?
Yes. Yes, I can.
She sees it. Thank you, Henry Louise. I appreciate it. Queen Lady, read Queen Lady's song.
Ask me to read with my bad sight.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Pure, true, positive words and actions of energy. I pass on to others with prayers that will keep them uplifted, inspired, that I care about them. I was raised this way. Yes, 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 yes. Yep. So, thank you guys again. Debbie said, Henry Lee says, Debbie is spot on. She's helped me tremendously. Okay, good. The cat is out the bag. I wasn't going to say anything. But Henry Louise can attest to the fact that when people need readjusting, you know what I mean? We can help readjust other people. We can. We don't always have to be psychics or mediums. And Henry Louise is blessed enough to have access to Debbie and all of her gifts that she uses professionally. Oh, guess what? I'm going to segue that into Debbie. Why don't you tell the people how they can contact you?
Oh my goodness.
Thanks, Henry Louise.
You can contact me at debbiecray.com, my website, debbiecray.com, or debbiecray80@gmail.com. You can email me as well.
And when they go there, what will they find?
So many services.
Like what services?
Healing, coaching, counseling, hypnotherapy, spiritual insight and guidance, helping you, just with pretty much everything that you need in your life to guide you back on track.
Okay, she's the real deal. She's the real deal. That's why I paid the big bucks to be here. So anyway, guys, thanks so much. You should tune into our other shows. Night School, which is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I am the headmaster of the Night School. She's one of the students. Henry Louise and Purple Diva that were on here are also students. Now here's the deal. As aligned that Henry Louise and Purple Diva appear to be on here, in Night School, they're a little different. They're a little ornery. They fight all the time, but it's okay. As the headmaster, I keep everybody under control. But we have so much fun on that show dealing with topics, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Really is.
Night School, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. On Wednesday nights, it's just Norwood. So it's just about myself, my career, people in my life, and stuff, just stuff. So tune in. And if you choose not to watch those, come back and see us next Sunday on Spiritual Session Sunday with
Debbie Cray and
Norwood Young. And that other girl, Kat, come back and say bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.
bye.
Up in the morning and out to school. The teacher is teaching the golden rule. American history and practical math. You study them hard and hoping to pass. Working your fingers right down to the bone. And the guy behind you won't leave you alone. Ring, ring.
Pieces of a Dream and Norwood.
We've been friends for a long time. He's crazy.
Just Norwood.